Hello, good morning. Welcome to Gaming Insight Daily for Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. I'm Steve Saylor. This is your daily show of gaming news, accessibility news, or updates about my life. I have my caramel latte again from McDonald's. I just wanted to have it. Ooh, that. Oops, sorry. Went down the wrong pipe. Oh, God. I'm going to kill myself before even the episode starts. Great. Coffee's trying to kill me. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day. Hope you have a good start to your day, or at least a good start to the week. I know the things are, gestures to everything, not necessarily great right now, but I hope you're at least trying to be able to find some peace for yourself, or find some moments of joy in what you're in your life. And yeah, that's all. That's all I care about. I don't really have much housekeeping other than I want to remind you, if you are a fan of D&D or a fan of watching subathons, I may have the stream for you. On this Thursday, January 29th at 4 p.m. Eastern, I will be starting my very first subathon called Dragon Games. And it is a really fun kind of sort of like a sports event tied with D&D, but you as a chat can be able to get involved and actually be able to help the players or help the dungeon master, as it were. And you can be able to, basically players have 4 hours to be able to collect as many magic items or weapons as much as possible before they are forced to fight the final boss, which is a dragon. And chat can be able to sub, and that'll lower the timer, and then you can be able to your bits to be able to unlock a certain gifts or like advantages to the players or to me. And I'm excited to for that to happen. So if you want to be able to tune in, again, it's 4 p.m. Eastern on this Thursday, January 30th, at twitch.tv/Steve Saylor. We got some good guests on as well, so it's gonna be a good time. Anyway, let us jump right into the news. For those who may not know, I am a big WWE fan. I became one more so definitely within the past 2 years than I did previously. Previously, I've been a fan, I've been watching WWE sort of since essentially WrestleMania, I think 37, 38, because I remember I would watch just WrestleMania, but I would never really watch any of the Raws or SmackDowns or any of the the PLEs. So essentially, I wasn't really into it that much until I think it was WrestleMania 39 that I was like, you know what, I'm actually going to sign up to watch Raw and SmackDown on a regular basis. And I never looked back, and it's been a big part of, as I talked about sort of finding your joy at the beginning of this episode. This is me finding my joy. I just absolutely love WWE. I watch it as much as I can. Not every single episode or every single week, but I try to be able to catch up as best as possible what's happening. I don't know what it is. It's just it's the stories, I think, but also it's the athleticism. I know it's wrestling is it can be seen as fake or whatever, but to me, it's more of you get to see the best stunt performers live, and that's what these wrestlers are. They're the best stunt performers, and they get to do this live week after week, which is amazing. So we got some WWE 2K25 news. The WWE 2K25 release date, new modes, and gameplay changes have been announced. This is by Chris Scullion over at VGC. The next entry in the long-running WWE series of video games will be released on March 14th, with early access starting on March 7th for owners of the Dead Man Edition or Bloodline Edition of the game. The game's cover star is Roman Reigns, who will be the central focus of the two main new modes added in the 2K25 edition. The first of these is this year's Showcase mode, which is titled the Bloodlines Dynasty. Showcase mode looks back at classic matches with a specific theme, and this year the theme is the Bloodline and the extended Anoa'i, I can't pronounce that, Anoa'i family, meaning the matches selected will include Roman Reigns, The Rock, Yokozuna, Jacob Fatu, and more. The main new mode this year, however, is titled The Island and gives players the opportunity to explore and challenge other players while vying to earn a WWE contract by impressing Roman Reigns, according to 2K Sports. The Island, which is exclusive to the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S versions of the game, has players completing quests, competing in live events, and upgrading and customizing their character through multiple storyline chapters. And I'm looking at some photos right now of Wyatt Six, Rhea Ripley, and Dominic Mysterio. Basically, Rhea Ripley looked like he just beat something out of the Dominic Mysterio, and then we got the fake bloodline of Solo, Jacob, and Toma Tonga, and Tao Aloha. They're all like giving the acknowledge me sort of the hand gesture. Other new features coming to the game this year include intergender matches, allowing male and female superstars to fight each other. Bloodline rules and underground match type matches. Bloodline rules. The return of the chain wrestling gameplay mechanic. I actually don't know that one. And an improved My Faction mode with a new World Tour section replacing Proving Grounds. A new My Rise storyline offering a singular multi-gender storyline instead of two separate male and female stories. Love that. Online multiplayer in My GM mode. Ooh, that's going to be good. Oh, that means I can be able to play My GM mode with someone else. Ooh, I need to get one of my friends to be able to play this. That'd be really cool. Improvements to Universe more. I'm assuming universe mode, including the return of promos. Players who pre-order WWE 2K25 will get the Wyatt 6-pack, which includes 5 playable superstars: Uncle Howdy, Dexter Loomis, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, and Eric Roman, plus Uncle Howdy and Nikki Cross mass cosmetic items for the Island. The game will have 2 special editions: the Dead Man Edition at $99.99 and the Bloodline Edition at $129.99. Dang, I actually wanted to get the Bloodline Edition. That was the one I wanted, but I didn't realize it was $30 more than the Dead Man Edition. Oh, dang it. Okay. The Dead Man Edition will include the following: Standard Edition of the game, Wyatt 6-pack, Dead Man Edition bonus pack, which is a Mattel Elite Greatest Hits Undertaker Persona card for My Faction and Playable Superstar, original 90 Undertaker Persona card for My Faction and Playable Superstar, a useful urn object, Undertaker 95 mask cosmetic item for the Island and PS5 and Xbox Series X and S only, Brother Love Manager, season pass for all 5 post-launch DLC character packs, 15,000 VC, which is their currency, 7 days early access to the game starting on March 7th. Now, the Bloodline Edition will include everything in the Dead Man Edition: Ringside Pass, Season Pass Plus Superstar Mega Boost, the Rock Nation of Domination pack, Rock Nation of Domination Persona card for My Faction and Playable Superstar. Then the Bloodline Edition bonus pack basically has everything that kind of the Dead Man edition has, but Family Above All hoodie, OTC shirt, Yeet tank top, and Yeet sunglasses are new for this particular edition. And then WrestleMania 41 pack, WrestleMania 41 Arena, 2 WrestleMania 41 main event Superstar Persona cards, and a new Superstar Persona card. So that basically will be available as of summer 2025, because of course WrestleMania 41 has not started yet. Let us watch. I want to watch the trailer for this, because I want to see this. So let's pause this.
The tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Acknowledge me. You never deny me. I'm still alive.
Hell yeah.
Over 35 years has held a world title longer than Roman Reigns. Still alive. The ultimate needle mover in God mode himself. This is my ring, my WWE.
Hell yeah. I don't know why, though. It's like the only thing that sucks about I think about WWE, like the games, is that there's something odd about, like, there's the uncanny valley of the character models. Oh, this, yeah, talking about the bloodline changing.
Roman Reigns has been sacrificed at the altar of Solo. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Holy hell! Roman Reigns has returned.
Oh my gosh, this looks so dang good.
Runs WWE.
Oh, we're going back to maybe his Shield days. Oh, here's all the other characters. Oh, Dead Man. Oh, you got CM Punk. That's great. And yeah, okay. Yep. And this is where we're talking about taking it beyond the ring into the Island. And then we got the 3 different editions. So there's a standard edition, and then yeah, they're talking about the pre-orders for the Wyatt 6-pack. And then apparently, I guess you get the digital copy of WWE 2K24 as well. So awesome. I cannot wait. I am definitely going to be pre-ordering this. Now I have to decide on kind of like which edition I want, because I kind of I want the not the Dead Man. I want the Bloodline edition, because that artwork just looks sick as heck. But I don't know if it's, well, we'll see what the price is like for Canadians. Because I'm just like, man, I want that. That just like, it just looks so dang good. I mean, I don't really care about like the bonus stuff. Excuse me. Other than like being able to obviously play it a week early, I will be okay with that. But I didn't realize that the Bloodline edition is specifically like more expensive than Dead Man. I thought there was going to be just two the same and then the same price, but and you get to pick and choose. But I'll have to figure out what I want to do, because I don't know. This game is going to get me, and I feel like I really want to try out the My GM mode. I never did get to really do that in 2K24. I played around with the 2K24, mostly like I'm creating my own character and stuff like that, but I never really got further into it because I was still relatively new to WWE at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm still not understanding what the heck's going on. But now that I'm fully in it, I'm like, I want to play this and almost make it this my entire personality. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm really excited to be able to play this. This is one of my most anticipated games so far. And I just want... Do you like WWE? Do you want to be able to play these games? Do you care about anything? I'm sorry if you got to let me geek out about this, because this is just I like... Now that I'm fully in it, it's just exciting to be able to have this as a video game. I'm surprised again that Roman Reigns, because I think Roman Reigns is not the first time that he's been cover. He's been on the cover for WWE 2K. I just want to see WWE 2K covers. I just want to see how far back that they go. Let me see. Okay. So, okay, I'm going back to the far as PlayStation. No, I just want to see the 2K versions. I'm just double checking. So they got some more up to the PlayStation 2. Come on. Oh, here we go. Okay, we're going back to the 2Ks. Okay, the 2Ks. Let's see. Okay, so WD12 was Randy Orton. Then the next one was CM Punk for 13. And then when the 2K took over, that's when The Rock and Daniel Bryan. Then 15 was John Cena, 16 was Stone Cold Steve Austin, 17 was Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins was 18, AJ Styles was 19, Roman Reigns and Becky Lynch was 20. Okay, so Roman Reigns has been appeared on the cover, yes. Then we got Rey Mysterio for 22, and then 2023 was John Cena, and 2024 was Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. Okay, all right. Okay, so yeah, he has been on it before, but not as a solo cover. Okay, all right, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Anyway, moving on. Actually, this is kind of it's a press release for something that I kind of pulled up when I was looking for video game news. But this is from like the ESA of Canada. But I wanted to kind of at least acknowledge it for Canada, for Canadian folks. Canada's video game industry contributed $5.1 billion to GDP in 2024. The report, Canada's video game industry powering the future of play, highlights how the Canadian video game industry has continued to thrive despite the challenges faced by the global industry coming out of the pandemic. The video game industry is a cornerstone of Canada's digital economy, creating high-quality jobs, driving innovation, and showcasing our creativity on the global stage, said Paul Fogelin, CEO and president of ESA Canada. Our video game studios have had to navigate significant challenges coming out of the pandemic, but this report shows the maturity of the industry overall and the importance of continuing to invest in its growth and success. While there was a slight decrease in employment, minus 3.5% since 2021, the report shows that this was offset by an increase in the percentage of full-time employees from 81% to 86%, and a 21% increase in average salary across all roles to $102,000 per year. Overall, this resulted in 3% growth in the economic impact of the sector, with $5.1 billion contributed to total GDP. One of the reasons for the continued success is that a remarkable 88% of the industry's revenue comes from exports, solidifying Canada's position as a global leader in video game development and digital innovation. Canadian studios have developed some of the most well-known and successful video games in the world, says Deirdre Airy, head of Canadian operations, Other Ocean Group Canada Limited. The diverse talent and positive business environment in Canada have allowed our member companies throughout the country to grow their studios and develop incredible games from small indie teams to global AAA studios. Canadian developers are producing games that resonate with people worldwide. And then they got some key statistics from the report. Can't talk today. 821 active video game studios across Canada. Like I said, contributed $5.1 billion to GDP in 2024. 34,000 full-time employees employed across the country with an average salary of $102,000. We've got 15,000 in Quebec, 10,000 or just under 11,000 in British Columbia, and 6,000 in Ontario. 86% of employees are full-time with an average age of 34 years. I like this, and I wanted to be able to talk about this a little bit because Canada does have a pretty big impact in the video game industry. I mean, if we're talking just in franchises in general, I mean, Assassin's Creed is Canadian. Obviously, BioWare with Dragon Age and Mass Effect, that's all Canadian. Celeste is Canadian. Some of the EA games is produced in Canada. Star Wars Outlaws was partially produced in Canada because of Ubisoft Toronto running the story for that. Obviously, we also have WB Montreal. Some people sort of say like maybe like Gotham Knights wasn't exactly a huge hit, but that is also Gotham Knights is Canadian. Same with Arkham Origins. We got Behavior Interactive, so that's Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight's Canadian. Disney's Dreamlight Valley is Canadian. That's made in Montreal. So there is a lot of if you're not in Canada, that like there is a lot of Canadian developers. I mean, obviously not a lot. If you kind of like 34,000 full-time employees across all of Canada, that may seem small in comparison to probably other countries, including the U.S. But for that's actually a pretty good that's a pretty good indicator. There could be more studios or whichever, but 34,000 full-time employees, that's not including like contractors, part-timers, blah, 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 blah. I think that's pretty awesome. And so even though it is small, we are mighty. And we contribute about $5 billion to the GDP. Now, again, if you think about population in Canada is not large. I think, if I remember correctly, I know actually it's been a minute since I've seen it. Canada. Canadian population in 2024 is 41 million. So not even close to half of the people who voted for either candidate in the U.S. election living. That's the entire population of Canada. So yes, when you think about it from that particular scale, earning basically making $5 billion in Canada revenue. I like. In revenue made in Canada, I think that's pretty significant. So, congrats to Canadian developers. I'm proud Canadian. I work here and live here in Toronto, and I at this point I probably don't really want to live anywhere else. So anyway, love that. Next story is kind of I'm empathetic to this story, and I'll kind of explain a little bit why. This is by Chris Scullion over at VGC. Helldivers 2 director says he's taking a break before starting his next game. In a statement posted on Twitter, game director and Arrowhead Game Studio co-founder Johan Pilestedt explained that he had been working on the game for around 9 years and the entire Helldivers series for more than a decade. According to Pilestedt, the lengthy development time took a toll on him and forced him to limit his time with family and friends, so he plans to make up for lost time before starting on Arrowhead's next project. I'm going to do a sabbatical for a while, Pilestedt wrote, explaining, while you have enjoyed Helldivers 2 for almost a year, I've been living it since early 2016, and with Helldivers it's since 2013. 11 years of working around the clock on the same IP has made me set aside family, friends, and my lovely wife, and myself. I'm going to take some time now to redeem what was lost from all those that supported me for over a decade. I'm sure my friends at Arrowhead will do the utmost in the meantime to deliver amazing stuff to Helldivers 2. When I'm back, I'll start working on the next Arrowhead game. Earlier this month, Pilestedt said he was already planning on Arrowhead's next game, telling players that he was working on the high concept and inviting speculation on what it could be. Since its release and breakout success last year, Arrowhead has continued to update the Sony-published Helldivers 2, and Pasta has even suggested it will work on the game until it effectively becomes Helldivers 3. The reason why I say it at the beginning, I have empathy for this story, is because I have empathy for someone who's been working for so long and kind of sacrificing almost everything for, and honestly deserves a break. We talk about crunch and hustle culture as a thing to aspire to, and that's I think it's kind of like one of the biggest sort of crocs in business today, or in the past 10 years, has been the hustle culture. Yes, it is important to be able to work hard and work harder, not smarter. Sorry, not necessarily work harder is not smarter. Work hard and be smart about it, and work as much as you can. You only have 24 hours in a day, so might as well spend at work. Like that I think has been kind of a load of crock, because when you get into that mode of hustle culture, you sacrifice everything else around you, and I mean everything else. There's no room for family, for friends, or sometimes even yourself, when you're just constantly hustling to get ahead, to make X amount of money, to land that next deal, to whatever. That is as like tarnished the thought of it's okay to work hard, but also being there for your family. I'm always about work-life balance in many ways. I personally have gone through that. Not say I sort of was. I purposely chose the kind of the hustle life. It was forced upon me just because of just the nature of the work that I was doing at the time. Basically, I worked for 36 days straight, average about 16-hour days for 36 days straight. And I didn't have a day off for over a month. And it took its toll. I basically became hospitalized with dehydration and exhaustion. That's why I have also along with my coffee, I have a water with me, because I'm trying to stay as hydrated as best as possible. But that scared me, and I realized how much I was sort of sacrificing myself of trying to be able to work so hard to be able to provide for myself. And at the time, it wasn't like I was earning a huge amount of money. I was running paycheck to paycheck, but I had to keep working in order for me to stay employed. And essentially I had to stop and realize, okay, I need that work-life balance. So I purposely made sure that by 5 p.m. every single workday, I was done. And I would go home or work on another project, which at the time was Blind Gamer in 2015, which basically led to where I'm at today, which I don't deny, but I had to sort of decide on what I wanted to dedicate myself. And because I didn't have a family or a family to support or anything like that, I felt like I could dedicate that time to my own projects and my own creative projects, and that was the Blind Gamer stuff. So, but I still purposely made sure that at 5 p.m. I shut off everything with regards to work, and then I can focus in on what it is I wanted to do. And if it was a time I would just I just want to chill in front of the TV for a couple hours, I would allow myself to do that and not feel guilty about it, because I was shutting the work part of my brain off so that I can be able to recharge the rest of my body and recharge my mind, so that I can go back into work fresh and being able to tackle another day's worth of work. Wasn't always successful, wasn't always the sort of the best way to go about it. But when we talk about the video game industry and we hear about crunch all the time of studios crunching their employees, that they're sleeping in their cubicles or whichever to get the work done or stuff like that, and obviously that's something we need to change in the industry overall. But when you have the kind of the crunch upon yourself, especially as a studio head, you do sacrifice a lot. And especially if you have a family, if you have friends, and you're working constantly, you're going to need a break before either health reasons or things get worse in your job and in your life. So I applaud Johan for Palestine for doing this and stepping down or stepping away just for a break for a while. I applaud that for him, and I think that's great. I think that's something that is needed, and I think that's setting a good example for other potential, like even CEOs, executives, or just anyone in kind of that leadership position to be like, hey, or even just people in general. It's like, hey, it's okay to take a break, unless you purposely unless you actively you need the money in order to be able to and you need to be able to keep working to be able to stay employed. That's a different story, and I hope that you can be able to find that work balance in yourself. But being able to take a break is something that is super important. So I wanted to call that out. I was very happy to kind of see that he was doing that, and I wish Pilset the best of luck. I was debating on doing this last story because we've talked about layoffs in the past, and it sucks. Basically, I don't want to be a broken record on this, but I wanted to at least report it because it is something that it has come up. This is, again, Tom Ivan over at VGC. Ubisoft confirms 185 layoffs as it closes former DJ Hero studio and downsizes others. The move will see the company close Ubisoft Leamington in the UK, which is based in Leamington Spa, England, and makes cuts of Ubisoft Düsseldorf, Ubisoft Stockholm, and Ubisoft Reflections. Ubisoft Leamington was previously known as Freestyle Games, the studio behind the DJ Hero series, before it was acquired by Ubisoft from Activision in 2017. It has since worked mainly as a support studio on games such as Far Cry 5, Avatar, and Star Wars Outlaws. Ubisoft said in a statement provided to VGC, as part of our ongoing efforts to prioritize projects and reduce costs that ensure long-term stability in Ubisoft, we've announced targeted restructurings at Ubisoft Düsseldorf, Ubisoft Stockholm, and Ubisoft Reflections, and the permanent closure of Ubisoft Leamington site. Unfortunately, this should impact 185 employees overall. We are deeply grateful for their contributions and are committed to supporting them through this transition. And basically, this kind of the rest of the article kind of goes on to sort of the issues that Ubisoft has been having. And so the layoffs continue, and it sucks. And I knew this was going to happen when basically everything that Ubisoft was happening. The thing that is right now, if you want to be able to take off a bunch of assets off the books really quickly to sell the company, closing studios and laying off employees is a quick way to do that. It's unfortunate. And I hate it, and I don't like it. But unfortunately, it was inevitable. And I'm sorry for every single one of those employees who have been laid off from that. They didn't deserve it. They were closed because of corporate mismanagement, and they're the ones unfortunately paying the price. I don't want to dwell on this too much because, again, we've talked, if you were listening to my show over the past year, basically, I've talked about a lot of the layoffs, especially everything that kind of happened in 2024, and it's just disheartening. And you can only really kind of say the same thing over and over again before it becomes I guess you could basically keep repeating it until it sinks in, but you can only say that it sucks and it's a terrible thing to happen, and who's at fault, what's at stake, what's the human sort of factor of this, and we talk about that a lot, and I've ranted about that a lot, but it just, again, it sucks that this is the state that we're in within the industry, that it just makes it easier just to lay off people and close studios than it is to actually try to fix the problem itself. Anyway, I started to kind of end this episode on a down note, but I was like, I wanted to talk about something great at the beginning, and then it's like, okay, so there we go. I got my excitement out. Anyway, if you did get this far, I do apologize for that, but hopefully tomorrow will be much better news. To be able to talk about any, hopefully some announcements or some exciting stuff will happen between now and then. We'll see. Knock on wood, fingers crossed. But anyway, I want to thank you all for being here today. I want to remind you, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to this channel, please do. If you want to be able to subscribe to this podcast, you can really go to any podcast platform and either search for Gaming Insight Daily or click in the links in the description down below. Take care. Have yourself a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.